Well, it sure didn't take long for ESPN to pull the trigger on the Max Kellerman departure from Woke Take. News broke last week that there were rumblings that Max Kellerman's days on First Take were numbered. Here we are. 7 days, not even 7 days later. And Max Kellerman, thank God, Max Kellerman is gone. Done. Finished. Notice the timing of this too. Stephen A. Smith can say all he wants publicly, that he loves Max Kellerman, but it is no secret that he doesn't like him. Hell, who can blame him? Max Kellerman is mentally handicapped. I actually feel bad for Stephen A. Smith in this aspect. For 5 years, he has had to sit across the desk from a dude who has an IQ with less digits than an area code. It has got to be extremely frustrating to deal with someone with the mental incapability of a Max Kellerman and do it every day for 5 years. Max Kellerman knows nothing about the NFL, knows nothing about the NBA, Major League Baseball, UFC. He knows boxing, but no one gives a damn about boxing in 2021. Back to the timing thing though. The timing of this tells you all you need to know about Stephen A's relationship with Max Kellerman. Stephen A's out in Los Angeles filming Jimmy Kimmel Live. By the time that he makes it back to ESPN, Max Kellerman's gone. Funny how that worked out. Strange timing. The downfall of Max Kellerman at ESPN is proof that there is no loyalty with these wokers. He has spent the better part of 5 years kissing the ass of Stephen A. Smith and the bosses at ESPN. Max Kellerman has been the token white guy for the agenda. Stephen A. Smith, he spouts his racial garbage. He kicks it over to Max Kellerman so he can apologize for all white people for being inherently racist. I know, Stephen A., we were all born with racism in our blood. I apologize on behalf of all white people. Please love me. There was never any love shown to Max Kellerman. He was constantly berated, constantly embarrassed on national television by Stephen A., and he never once fought back. The reason he never fought back, he knew Stephen A. Smith had clout at ESPN. He didn't want to piss him off and risk losing his job. Also, Max Kellerman is a beta male, so he doesn't have the ability to fight back and defend himself. He's weak. Instead, he spent much of his time trying to get in the good graces of Stephen A. and ESPN. I went back and found some of Max Kellerman's wokest moments. There were plenty to choose from. I just wanted to give you a little snapshot of his time on Woke Take to show you that even though he was a loyal social justice warrior, in the end, it didn't matter. Remember a few months ago during the NFL draft, Max Kellerman, unprompted, said that he had a great fear that there were going to be too many white quarterbacks drafted and not enough black quarterbacks. Oh, he was so worried about this. I guess he forgot the top paid quarterbacks in the NFL, mostly black. But why let facts get in the way of promoting the agenda? We know they don't do that. Or what about the time last summer when Black Lives Matter was protesting across the country? Let me rephrase that. What about last summer when Black Lives Matter was rioting and destroying neighborhoods and cities across the country? Burning buildings, flipping over police cars, taking over entire police precincts, tearing down statues. They took over an entire area in Seattle, called it their Chaz zone. No one could ever figure out what Chaz meant. It was basically an area where unemployed bums who refused to bathe congregated, and their stench put a hole in the ozone layer. So much for wokers being concerned about global warming. Anyway, Max Kellerman, he said these weren't riots, these are peaceful protests. He said 93% of these protests were peaceful, and the other 7%, they had a broad definition of what's quote-unquote peaceful. Max Kellerman proved two things here. One, he doesn't know the definition of peaceful, and two, he struggles in the math department. That number should actually be flipped around. 7% of the protests were peaceful, 93% were riots. Back in 2018, Max Kellerman said the mascot for Notre Dame was offensive to Irish people. He pushed for Notre Dame to change their mascot because even though it didn't offend most people, it does offend some people, and we should be mindful of that. He criticized fans of the SEC in college football because they were supporters of Donald Trump. He falsely claimed that Donald Trump accepted an endorsement from the KKK. He slammed Tiger Woods, basically called Tiger Woods dumb, because Tiger Woods said that we needed to respect the office of the presidency, even if it's Donald Trump who's in office. And it's not just the woke political garbage that proves Max Kellerman is brain dead. He doesn't know anything about sports either. 2016, he said Tom Brady was on the precipice of falling off a cliff. I don't even have to tell you how wrong that prediction was. On numerous occasions, he has claimed that Kawhi Leonard is better than LeBron James. During the 2018-19 NBA season, Max Kellerman said Anthony Davis was better than Kevin Durant, and that Kevin Durant wasn't even a top 5 player in the NBA. At one point, he was questioning whether or not Larry Fitzgerald would get into the NFL Hall of Fame. You get my point. I could sit here for another week. We still wouldn't run out of ridiculous things that Max Kellerman has said. Like I said earlier, this just goes to show you, no matter how woke you are, no matter how much ass kissing you do, there is no loyalty in this agenda. You could not get more woke than Max Kellerman. Through their lens, he did everything right. He never pushed back against the agenda, never questioned anything. He was a loyal comrade. He did and said everything that he was supposed to say, what he was told to say. And he still got demoted. That's what this is. This is a demotion. They'll try to spin this like Max Kellerman's really needed on ESPN Radio with Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Williams. No one listens to that show. Hell, no one listens to ESPN Radio. The future of First Take is in jeopardy. ESPN has Stephen A. Smith under contract for another 2-3 years, maybe. And I say maybe because Stephen A. is looking to move on. He wants to get onto late night television. If ESPN were to lose Stephen A. Smith, they are screwed. They have no one on deck to replace him. There used to be so much talent at ESPN, it didn't matter who left, big name or not. Dan Patrick left, no big deal. Keith Olbermann, no big deal. Colin Cowherd, no big deal. There was always someone on deck to replace him, to step in. ESPN does not have that luxury anymore. I would be willing to bet most of you guys couldn't name a show on ESPN Radio. I can't. Outside of Scott Van Pelt, can you name another SportsCenter anchor? Even though ESPN's lacking right now in the talent department, they still viewed Max Kellerman as expendable. There's no one there to take his job, and they still gave him the boot. They still thought he wasn't good enough. All right, time to let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on Max Kellerman sucking up to Stephen A. Smith and ESPN for 5 years and still losing his job. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.